One of the biggest questions in the Christian faith is whether or not divorce is ever justified. Hi, I'm life coach and relationship expert Annalisa O'Toole, and I want to share my story with you about divorce and what happened in my personal journey regarding my own turmoil with whether or not to stay in an unhealthy and toxic marriage or to leave. So I went to consult my pastor, and as you may or may not be aware, in the Bible it does say, seek wise counsel. Seeking wise counsel is seeking someone who is either spiritually or professionally an expert at giving you advice on a particular subject matter. So, in the case of contemplating divorce, I felt that to know what God might really be trying to teach us in His Word is to consult a pastor who had studied God's Word and who had also been counseling, mentoring, and guiding other singles, other couples for a very long time. And this is what he told me that day. He said it was his belief and his interpretation of biblical principles regarding justifications for divorce, which just that alone was alarming to me because I had always learned and was always taught that divorce was wrong in God's eyes and that it was a sin. So what he went on to say was that he felt there were scriptures that could easily be interpreted as reasons for not staying with someone, not staying married, not staying in a partnership. And these were what they were. One, if you have been abandoned. Now, there are two types of abandonment. One is physical. Your partner has left the home, has left you physically. You either don't know where they are or you do, but they're not coming back. So physically, there was an abandonment or an emotional abandonment. And this is where they are not in touch with your feelings. They don't want to talk about their own thoughts and feelings. They aren't present even when they're sitting next to you. Their mind is always somewhere else. They're thinking about something else. They're busy multitasking or easily distracted. When you want to have a real grown-up conversation, they're not interested. When you need them to be a team with you, they're not really on board with that. They can sometimes be easily angered and frustrated when you start talking about real life controversy. This is a person who is not engaged in the present moment. This is a person who's not emotionally available to you, and this is an emotional abandonment. Other than abandonment, the second justification that my pastor pointed out was if there is abuse. Now, abuse comes in many forms as well. There is physical abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's abuse of alcohol and drugs, which is clearly an addiction with a spouse. There is abuse of children, the abuse and overuse or underuse of money, and not appropriating a budget or managing money in a responsible way. That is neglect and that is abuse of leadership in the home. So many types of abuse can be toxic, and without a person acknowledging their weakness, acknowledging their problem, and acknowledging the abuse, there usually is not a follow-up of help for that. So first is the admittance and taking responsibility, and then the second step of abuse is getting the help, and the third step is being consistent with a plan of action, refraining from this type of abuse. No one should be a doormat in a relationship. No one should be used or abused in a relationship. And the third justification for divorce, besides abandonment or abuse, is in fact a addiction or a personality disorder or a mental health disorder, to where the toxicity of that disorder is more often causing chaos, problems, and hurt than there are moments of joy, excitement, and harmony. So it's really like the 3 A's: addiction, abuse, and abandonment. And when you look at these 3 A's and the havoc that they can bring into a relationship, it really does not at all foster anything that would show signs of success, peace, and joy on a consistent daily basis within that relationship. Now, there is a 4th A that we should talk about, and that's adultery. And if your partner has stepped out of the relationship and had an emotional connection with someone else, had a physical or a sexual relationship with someone else, it's all in the same category. It's disloyal, it's disrespectful, it lacks commitment to you, it lacks their sense of trust, and it's a deep character issue to cheat on a spouse. So adultery doesn't have to be a deal breaker for everyone, nor does abandonment, nor does addiction. Abuse is another story. If they stop the abuse, that's one thing. But the other 3 are a personal choice. And what I mean by that is you must decide individually if these problems are red flags and you want to stand by your spouse, pray with them, help them get the help they need, support them through a healing journey. God calls some people to this path. For other people, they feel exhausted. They feel tired of trying. They feel a lack of support for many, many months and sometimes many years of already trying to help, to no avail. You must make a decision if any of the A's, adultery, abandonment, addiction, or abuse, are going to be red flags in the relationship that you're going to help your partner with, or are they automatically deal breakers because you cannot stay and feel love and trust with those type of circumstances. And you know what I always teach? Look up and pray up, because your decision is between you and God. One person will tell you to go this direction, and another person will tell you to go the other way. It's really up to you. At the end of the day, it is your life's journey. It's your emotional regulation that needs balanced. Remember, it's up to you to make it a great and fabulous day. And if you need more help to navigate one of these A's, abuse, addiction, adultery, or affliction of any kind in your relationship and you're contemplating divorce, reach out, let's connect, and I can help you to make it a great day.